This is the Roger Stone Show on 77 WABC.
A man who's gone through hell, but he's kept going, and he's smart, and he's strong, and people love him. Not everybody, but people love him and respect him. Roger Stone.
Now, here's Roger Stone.
Joining us now is Anthony Constantino. Anthony Constantino hails from Amsterdam, New York. He is the chief executive officer of StickerMule.com, which is the largest and most successful net-based printing company in the country. And a year and a half ago, he didn't think much about politics. He thought about building his business and employing more people in upstate, which had been devastated by the high tax and soft on crime policies in New York State. And then, well, he made a decision to put a sign on the top of his tallest building that said, "Vote for Trump." When that happened, all hell broke loose. Anthony Constantino, welcome to the Roger Stone Show.
Happy to be here, Roger.
So you got a crash course in American politics. You decided to take a stand, and as I recall, the Democrat mayor of your town didn't take kindly to this.
No, he tried to throw me in jail for putting a Vote for Trump sign on top of my tallest factory building, immediately hitting me with a restraining order, preventing me from displaying the sign on the basis of it being a public safety hazard, which was completely ridiculous. As we all know, people know how to drive cars, and people love beautiful signs and historic tributes to American figures.
Fortunately, your lawyers in the end talked him out of what would have only made you a bigger figure, but I saw you everywhere in the media talking about this, and I guess you were red-pilled. I mean, you hadn't been political before that, other than seeking to build your business and hire more people, but then you kind of jumped in with both feet.
Well, my lawyer actually didn't talk him out of it. He's backtracking very quickly now. I have great lawyers. I had two great lawyers, and they talked the judge out of it. He didn't want them. In fact, he went to the media the next day complaining about the judge, which is a big mistake. You're not supposed to go to the media and complain about judges. You're supposed to respect judges. But he got very upset. He wanted me to go to prison for putting up the sign, but my great lawyers got him out of that situation. But believe it or not, I started my company 15 years ago. We built it up to 1,200 people. But in 2016, I already learned about this whole situation because I was one of the first people canceled in 2016. I don't know if you even know that, but I bought President Trump Christmas ornaments in 2016, and some Democrat activists found out about it and used it to attack my company. I woke up one day while it was still candidate Trump to tens of thousands of people writing hate mail to my company, and it's not a good idea to bully people the way the Democrat Party bullied me, because you never know what the reaction is going to be when people bully you. So at the time, I had 300 or 400 people. I decided to take it on the chin, stay quiet. I still remained a quiet President Trump supporter, but I took it on the chin and built my company to 1,200 people and put myself in a situation where they could never threaten me again. So when I stood up for President Trump this time around, I was able to bear the brunt of the backlash.
And then, as I recall, you spent a lot of your own money to help President Trump over the finish line in those final weeks.
And we spent over $1 million and really did everything I could. And so actually the sign was the biggest news story, but my endorsement was the biggest social media news story. So I actually spoke up right after President Trump got shot. I was getting my hair cut, and a friend called me. It's one of those moments you never forget in life. And he told me President Trump had been shot. And I immediately wrote an endorsement of President Trump that went viral on the internet. I sent it to my 5 million customers. That went viral, exploded all over the internet. That got covered by Wall Street Journal, but it was really all over the internet. We were getting over 100,000 emails a day, hate mail, people telling me to kill myself. The Democrats tried to burn my business to the ground again. After the hate died down, after that backlash died down, I said, look, my best friends, believe it or not, even my MAGA supporting friends, they wanted me to keep quiet and just get back to work. I said, if I am quiet, it's going to look like the Democrat bullies won, so I decided to keep doing everything I could, and that led to the sign going up, and I won that battle with the crazy Democrat mayor from Amsterdam, New York.
I note that you are one of the Italian Americans being honored tonight by the Italian American Civil Rights League at their first annual Christmas celebration and awards ceremony. You can still get tickets to that, folks, at iacrl.org. That's at 7:30 tonight. Anthony will be there if you want to meet him. He is, I think, going to get a richly deserved award. Long before he got interested in politics, he has been active in his community and helping people. This is what impresses me most about him. But now, after this experience, this is great. He told me that he joined Mar-a-Lago, the president's private club, 2 years ago, but he had never been there. He joined because he wanted to support Donald Trump. And when he joined, membership was $250,000 a year, and you could become a member. Today, membership is $1 million a year, and it's a long, long waiting list. It shows you how dedicated to the president he is. Anthony, you ate recently. You went to the club for dinner. What'd you think?
It was a great experience. I want to correct that. I like to have evidence that I make good decisions. So right after President Trump lost the election, or I say vacated the White House because we don't know what really happened in that particular election, but right after he vacated the White House, I went and I bought a membership just days after he vacated the White House to show support because I knew he was going to return. I knew things were going to go the way I really strongly believed they were going to go the way they ended up going recently with his massive reelection victory. But I bought that membership right after the 2020 election. Got to go there for the first time. I don't like to have things just to do things, just to socialize. But once my great congressman was Elise Stefanik got nominated to the UN, I spoke to you and I thought it was time to finally use my Mar-a-Lago membership to go there and to see the president's home for the first time and have dinner there. It was a great experience.
It really is an extraordinary. You can't even imagine how what's the word? How incredible it is. Built in the 1920s by Meriwether Post, who was the heiress to the Post cereal fortune. It is classic Spanish architecture. It is really breathtaking. I walked through it when she had left it to the federal government. They didn't know what to do with it. They viewed it as a white elephant. It was boarded up for a number of years. President Richard Nixon and his best friend, Bibi Rebozo, when it looked at it, thought about potentially using it as a Southern White House, but Nixon decided that it was too ornate, it was too grandiose, didn't fit with his everyman image. And at that time, it had a lot of water damage. It had been boarded up for years, a lot of dust, and it looked kind of like the Addams Family. To be honest with you, you could see that it had been elegant, but it was in pretty rough shape. And I said, "Wow, this is pretty rough." He said, "No, you don't see it. This could be absolutely magnificent." And I said to him, "Well, it's up for auction. Are you going to buy it?" He said, "Well, only if I can steal it." And he did get it at an extraordinary price. I believe he paid $5 million for it. Now, a judge recently here in Manhattan said it's only worth $18 million, when in fact experts will tell you that you can't put a price on it. It's worth far more than $1 billion. That was a great night, and by the way, the food is really, really magnificent. So let's talk about that race for Congress. Obviously, there is no vacancy yet. This is, I think, among President Trump's very best appointments. I like Elise Stefanik because she's a bulldog. Go watch her questioning Christopher Wray, the FBI agent, FBI director, when he's trying to be evasive and he wants to fence with her. She's just on him, keeps asking the question. She's right. She has oversight authority. He has a legal obligation to answer her questions. She asks him in this particular case whether there had been a counterterrorism investigation opened into Trump, and he's trying to dance and not answer the question. She's just after him, hammer and tong. This is the Elise Stefanik I really like. She's very gutsy. She's very tough. She's had the courage to file complaints against state and federal judges who she thinks have acted corrupted in their treatment of President Trump. Politicians don't do that. Politicians usually want to hide under the bed. So I think her appointment is one of the very best appointments, but it does create a vacancy. That vacancy has not transpired yet, won't happen until she resigns from the House upon her appointment, which will then go to the Senate. The UN ambassador gets elevated to cabinet rank. It's not automatically cabinet rank, but it will be elevated to cabinet rank, and therefore it will require confirmation by the Senate. I expect her confirmation as a member of the House to be fairly simple. But there is no Republican primary. The Republican county chairs in this special election decide on the nominee on a proportional basis. Unfortunately, New York Republicans have a long history of losing special elections in overwhelmingly Republican districts. You kind of surprised everybody a few days ago when you liquidated your Tesla stock, in which you've done very, very, very well. You put all that money into your campaign account. Tell us about that.
Again, I like to have evidence that I make good decisions. So as soon as Elon Musk stepped in and saved free speech by buying Twitter and turning it into a much better website called X, I went out and I bought $1 million worth of stock that appreciated in value to 3.6 million. And I'm using the 2.6 gain to fully fund my campaign. I want to build the party in New York. I want to help turn New York red, which is something that desperately needs to happen. New York Democrats have been destroying the state. We've lost, I believe, over 1 million people the last few years because of horrible Democrat policy and Democrat corruption. Some say it's bad policy, some say it's corruption, but probably a little bit of both. But we have to turn New York red. I want to use my resources to win this seat and help the Republican Party turn New York red for the benefit of all voters. Believe it or not, the Democrat voters love me. I get so many compliments from Democrat voters because they know I'm sticking up for them. It's just the Democrat politicians that have a problem with people like myself and people like President Trump. But as we saw, the Democrat voters also love President Trump. Many Republicans left New York the last 4 years because they got scared out, but many Democrats voted for President Trump, and we got an 11-point improvement in New York State this last election. I think I want to continue that. I want to do my best to continue that trend.
Well, I also noticed that you have picked up the call to build a missile defense system and located it at Fort Drum. People don't realize this, but we have a missile defense system in every other part of the country, but there is no missile defense system. This is kind of like Israel's Iron Dome. There is no missile defense system on the East Coast, and Fort Drum is the obvious place for this. This is something Elise Stefanik has fought very hard for. The money's already been appropriated. This has already been approved. It is only foot dragging by the bureaucrats in the Biden administration. I saw a great piece that you wrote at Human Events the other day. This is an important fight that you said you're going to pick up.
Exactly. Peace is a bipartisan issue. Everybody wants peace. I supported President Trump because I said he's the best candidate to deliver world peace, global peace, and that's a bipartisan issue. That's why everybody should support him. But in order to deliver peace, you need tools to negotiate effectively. One of those tools, the missile defense system at Fort Drum, which my great Congresswoman Elise Stefanik wisely put into play.
All right. Tell folks where they can find you on social media.
Well, I'm on social media, AC132, and I just spun up a beautiful campaign website at voteforanthony.com. You can do it with the number 4 or the word 4, however you want to do it. But voteforanthony.com, go there. You can get some free stickers. And I want to use all my resources to build up the technology for the party and marketing tools for the party and everything I can do to help turn New York red in the event I get elected to this seat.
All right. Well, as other candidates for this office arrive, we don't endorse candidates here. We let them speak. And let's see who else gets into this race. But I wish you luck. We're going to be right back, folks, to take your questions. That number, 800-848-9222, 800-848-9222.